Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Using Your Brain for Success, the show that's all about helping you build a better life by using your brain the right way. I'm Liam Naden and I'm glad you're here. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself the question, what really is success? Or have you asked, how can I be truly successful in my life? Well, you know, of the people who do ask this question, or these questions, most people carry around false ideas and assumptions about what success actually is. And in fact, it's this misunderstanding about what success is that is the cause of frustration and problems in our lives, and in never being able to feel truly fulfilled and happy. Now, most of us think that when we achieve a particular goal, or when we have a certain amount of money, or we have a particular lifestyle, or even when we've solved some of the problems that are keeping us stressed and frustrated, we think that when all of these things happen, that we'll be successful. But as you'll discover in this episode of Using Your Brain for Success, thinking that success is something you achieve is what stops you from experiencing what success really is. So we're going to explore the true meaning of success, and how you can make it a part of your own life, and how to do it in a way that will be easy rather than stressful. Now, as we begin, let me ask you, have you ever achieved a goal or got something that you really wanted that you thought would make you happy, and it didn't really make you as happy as you thought it would? And that getting it didn't make you feel as successful as you thought it would either. Perhaps you felt a sense of satisfaction, and you might have felt really good for a while, but soon the old feelings of stress, frustration and unhappiness started to come back, and that sent you off on yet another quest to reach a new, bigger goal, or gain or achieve something that you didn't already have. And then the whole cycle began again of setting a goal, struggling to reach it with lots of stress and problems on the way, achieving the goal and feeling good for a while, and then doing it all over again, and thinking somehow you were going to at some point achieve success. Well, you know, that was the pattern of my life for many years, and in fact I carried on this way until I started using my brain in a different way. And when I did, I started to get results a lot more easily, and I realized that the word success itself had been completely misinterpreted and misunderstood. And because of that, it made my success much more difficult, if not impossible to reach. And it's the same for other people as well. Because, as you'll discover in this episode, you can't reach success, you can only have it. Now, I'll explain this shortly, and we're going to look at how you can experience true success in your life, and in a way that's much easier than you've been led to believe. And it's a way that doesn't involve struggle, and which is far more rewarding. And yes, as you've probably guessed, it's all to do with using your brain in a different way, in the way it was designed to be used. Now remember, and we've covered this in previous episodes, remember the truth is that you are designed for success. You are wired biologically to experience true success in every area of your life. And not just once in a while, or after some years of effort and struggle, but all the time. And that includes right now. And problems and stress in life, well, they only come from a misunderstanding of what success actually is. And as a result, you use your brain the wrong way. And no matter how hard you try, and no matter what you do or have, you can never be truly successful. Okay, well, before we look at what success really is and how to create it in your life, let's look at what success isn't. And you know, as I said earlier, success really is completely misunderstood. And in fact, it's one of the most misunderstood words in the English or any language. And this misunderstanding is the cause of most of the unhappiness in the world today. And it's also the cause of most of the problems and conflicts. And this is not only just on a personal level, but on a societal and even global level. And you'll see why shortly. But you know, even the dictionary gets it wrong, because a standard dictionary definition of the word success, and I looked this up, is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Now, this might be a definition of success in a narrow sense, but as you'll soon see, this definition is not in fact the real truth about what success is. Alright, so let's look at what success isn't, and I think you'll be surprised perhaps at some of these. The first thing that success isn't is that it isn't achieving a goal. You know, there isn't anything particularly wrong with setting goals, but if and only if they're the right goals. And in fact, goal setting is another thing that most people do in completely the wrong way, and it's a way that simply creates more problems and unhappiness in their life. Now, we're going to discuss goals and the right and the wrong ways to set them and achieve them in more detail in a future episode. But for now, realize that true success is not something you achieve once you reach a goal. And it's not something that you get that you don't already have. Now, I'm sure you've had the experience of achieving a goal and it not bringing you the lasting satisfaction that you thought it would. And that's because achievement has nothing to do with real success. And if it did, what would be the point of achieving so-called great things if you still felt unhappy and unsuccessful? And of course, this is what happens to many, if not most people who do achieve great things. They will tell you that how successful they feel has very little to do with their actual achievements. Now, on the flip side, think of how many celebrities or public personalities that you hear about who have all of the trappings of, quote, success. They have fame and fortune, but they end up with drug or alcohol problems or psychological problems such as depression, and sometimes they even take their own life. So was their life successful? Because even though they had all the fame and fortune, it wouldn't appear so, would it? But of course, our whole society is set up to fuel this idea that success is something you achieve. It's something you have to strive to attain. You must struggle and overcome the odds to be successful. And when you do, or so the story goes, you'll be loved, you'll be admired, and you'll feel great. And your life will be rich and satisfying. The glory comes to the winner. Well, that's the message. Now, of course, this is the theme throughout virtually all of the marketing and advertising world as well. Wherever you're exposed to someone or something trying to sell you something, whether it be a product or an experience, such as a ticket to a movie or a holiday, whenever they're trying to sell you something, they're telling you that success is when you have what they are selling. And all good marketers know that to make someone buy their product, they have to make the person feel that they will only be successful when they have that product. And of course, that also means that you're not successful until you do have it. So this leads you to believe that you're going to be successful when you have that new car, when you wear those new clothes, and when you live in that house. And we see this in sports, entertainment, business, and virtually every area of life. The person with the most is the most successful, we're told. The person who wins the race, there's the success, which of course also means that everyone else is a failure. Now, it's even in the foundation of our education system. Personal success is measured by grades and examinations. The more exams you pass and the better your grades, the more successful you are, and it's all about achievement and attainment. Now, unfortunately, the belief that success is something you have to strive to achieve and that achievement is measured by something you don't currently have, this is all a recipe for nothing more than pain and stress in your life. And the more you chase success in this way, the more pain and problems you're going to experience. So success is not defined by anything you achieve. Now, the second thing that success isn't, and it's closely related to the first thing, is that success isn't based on what you own, what you do, or what you have achieved. In other words, success is not based on what you have. Now, isn't it interesting how we ourselves judge others based on what we see they have, or what they're doing, or what they've done? And we measure success in this way. So we see the man driving the luxury car or living in a large house, and we say, wow, they're so successful. Or we talk about people who have, or perhaps have had, a successful career or a successful business. And as a result, we also automatically assume that others judge us by what we have or do. And so we subconsciously strive to have and be more, to achieve the approval and admiration of others. But have you ever noticed, and I'm sure you have found this in your own life, that having success doesn't really bring the admiration and respect from others that you thought it might. Sure, there'll be people who will say to you, well done, congratulations, and gosh, you must be an amazing person. But there won't be many who say this. And even if they do, it doesn't really have as much an effect on how successful you feel as you think it would have. Have a think about that one. You know, I really started to notice this when I lived in a large house and when I drove a luxury car. And I realized that I had a subconscious belief that people would admire me for those things and that admiration would give me some satisfaction. Now, it wasn't my only motivation to get those things, but it was a factor. But the truth was, guess how many people ever said to me, wow, that's a nice car. You must be really successful in your life. I really admire you for that. How can I be successful like you? How many people do you think said that to me? Well, the answer is no one. And in fact, if anything, I sensed a feeling of resentment from people more than admiration. So how about you? If you live in a nice home or you drive a nice car, how many people ever display their admiration for what you have and make you feel good about owning those things? Or how often do you detect instead a subtle resentment from people? It's an interesting thought to ponder on, isn't it? Now again, all of this is understandable when you realize how most people are using their brain the wrong way. Because when you use your brain the wrong way, you're constantly comparing yourself to others. And if someone else has more than you, you feel competitive towards them. And in extreme cases, it manifests as greed and is the cause of many conflicts on a personal and even global scale. Competitiveness and greed are both signs of the primitive brain, the fight or flight brain, being in control. This is when your brain is measuring you against others, and it's based on fear and feeling that you don't have enough. And you'll remember this from previous episodes, especially the last episode when we talked about fear. So true success also has nothing to do with what you have, either in your possessions or your status. Okay, well, the third thing that success isn't is that it isn't anything to do with solving problems or overcoming struggle or adversity. Now again, we have wired into our culture that if you overcome some great obstacle through hard work and great courage, then you are successful. And we admire this, and we make people who have done things like this, we make them our heroes. And because of this belief, success takes on the label of something that needs to be earned. And in fact, we judge people on how much courage we think they have, or how much adversity we think they've been through. And we might even subconsciously resent someone who appears to be successful if we don't think they've been through enough, or what we think is enough hardship. So we say things to ourselves like, well, that's not fair, they don't deserve it. So they can't really be as successful as they appear. It must have just have been luck. But you know, true success has nothing to do with having overcome huge obstacles. And in fact, as we'll see, having obstacles in your life to overcome could more be defined as a sign of failure rather than success. So the problem with all of these definitions of success, achieving a goal, having material wealth, power, or achievement, or overcoming struggles or adversity, the real reason why none of these are the truth about the meaning of success is that they are all based on feelings of lack. They're all defined as achieving something that at one point you didn't or don't have. In other words, they assume that at some point there exists in your life the opposite, which is failure. So we see success as moving from failure, which is not having something and wanting something, to having something and not wanting something. We see it as a progression from one life circumstance to another. And it's all based on the idea that to be successful, you need to be something different to what you currently are. And the reality is that all of these feelings of lack and need, all they do is create struggle in your life. They make you feel stressed, worried, frustrated, anxious and afraid. And what happens then? Well, of course, as we know about the brain, that activates your mechanical fight or flight brain. And in this state, you'll remember, your awareness is limited. You don't have access to your brain's full resources, so you don't have the ability to solve problems. In other words, you don't have the ability to be truly successful. You're always going to live with problems, stress, and unhappiness in your life and feeling unsuccessful, no matter what you actually currently do or have. All right, so if none of these are about what success is, what is? What is the true meaning of success? Well, actually, it's rather simple. And here it is. True success is being happy right now. True success is nothing more or nothing less than being happy right now. That's it. But think about what happens when you are happy, when you're feeling good. Really think about this, and this is why this is true success. Because in this state, your body and mind are operating perfectly. You are in that state of equilibrium which science calls homeostasis. You're in your natural creative state. You're using the full resources of your brain to ensure that you're strongest, you're healthiest, you are your most resourceful, and you're happiest. And your brain is working to create the ideal conditions in your life for everything you need and want. Now, it's obvious when you really think about it that being happy right now is the only possible definition of success. Because think about all of the other definitions of success. The ones we said weren't the right definition. Why do you really want to have more? Why do you want to achieve more? Why do you set and reach goals? Why do you want to overcome problems, adversity, and struggle? Well, it's for only one reason. You think by doing these things that you're going to be happy. You think that they themselves are going to make you feel good. I mean, when you think about it, you don't want the house, the car, the money, the relationship, the holiday, or even achieving the goal. You don't want those things for what they are. You want them for how you think they're going to make you feel, which is good and happy. So isn't this really the only reason why you want anything? Because you think by having it, it's going to make you feel good. Well, of course it is. There's absolutely no other point, is there? But the inherent problem with seeking to feel good by being or having something you aren't or don't have is that you're starting from a place where you don't feel that you have enough already. And that causes you to feel fear, frustration, and anxiety about your current situation. And of course, that activates the mechanical or primitive part of your brain. And as you'll remember, this is the part that activates your fight or flight state, but it also shuts down your awareness and your resources. And it's not capable of knowing what you want or need to be truly happy. And not only that, it can never get it for you. All it can do is be on the lookout for constant danger and problems in your life, and if there aren't any there, it's going to create them for you. It tends to keep you focused on the negative, continually battling with problems that cause you stress. Because it doesn't know your life purpose and what will make you really happy. Only your creative brain knows that. And that, of course, is shut down when you are in this primitive survival brain state. So, true success is simply feeling good right now in this moment. It's only by feeling good that you can live your true life purpose. Put simply, you're being successful when you're feeling good, and when you're feeling bad, unless there is a real danger or threat to you in that moment, then what you're experiencing is living your life the wrong way. And another word for that is being a failure. Okay, but I hear you say, hang on, Liam, it's not as simple as that. How can I feel good right now with all the problems and everything that's going on in my life, let alone what's going on in the world? I mean, I've got big problems. I don't have enough money. My marriage is struggling. The future is so uncertain. I'm struggling to stay in business or keep my job. I can't just feel good right now. I mean, if I solve these problems, I'm going to feel a lot better. But I can't just pretend I'm successful when all these bad things are happening. And just trying to think positive and tell myself everything is good is not going to change that. Well, you're right that nothing is going to change just by trying to think positive. That never works. But the truth is you can be successful, which means you can feel good, no matter what is going on around you. Now, you might think this isn't possible, but stick with me here. Because you not only can, but when you do, your brain is working the right way so that you can solve any problems you're currently facing. And your life then becomes a lot easier, happier, and more fulfilling. Now, using your brain the right way to make sure you feel good, no matter what's going on around you, is what success truly is. And it has been explained to us in many different ways. Science explains it by saying that like energy attracts like. So whatever energy you put out is what you're going to get back. And if you put out positive energy, and not just through positive thinking, which usually isn't positive at all, but if you put out positive energy, true positive energy, by using your brain the right way, then positive things are going to flow back into your life. The self-help movement describes it by saying, change the inside, change your thoughts and your feelings, and that's how you change the outside, your results. And religion explains it too. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and seek first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will be added to you. In other words, seek to feel good inside you, and everything else on the outside will be given to you. So this is the true meaning of success. It's the success no one who wants power or influence over you wants you to know. That there is nothing lacking in your life, that you don't need to feel bad, and that success is simply the state of feeling good and making it your permanent state. And it's in this state that you're living to your fullest potential. It's when your brain is its most powerful to bring you everything you need to express who you really are. And the truth is, you can feel good right now if you choose to. It's just a question of learning to use your brain the right way. And if you like to have goals, make this your only goal in life, to learn how to feel good in this moment. That really is the only goal you need to have. All right, so how do you do that? How do you feel good no matter what's going on around you? How do you stay in this successful state, your natural creative state? In other words, how do you start being successful right now? Well, of course, one point I want to make is you don't do it by taking some substance to alter your brain chemistry. So in case you're wondering, I'm not suggesting that drugs, medication, alcohol, or anything like that is the way to do this. Because all of these things, they don't really put you in a permanent, natural, creative state. All they really do is mask the symptoms of unhappiness, and they cover over failure rather than create true happiness. And of course, they all usually come with unwelcome side effects. So true success, feeling good right now, comes from using your brain the right way. And of course, this is what neurostate rebalancing does. Neurostate rebalancing literally rebalances your brain so that no matter what's going on around you, you feel successful, and therefore you use the full resources of your brain to bring you the things you need on the outside to reflect the feelings of success that you have on the inside. So if you'd like to master using your brain correctly, and therefore master your life and achieve true success, then learn to use neurostate rebalancing. It's in my coaching program. You'll find the details on my website, liamnaden.com. But for now, the most immediate and impactful thing you can do to bring success into your life right now, in other words, to feel good, is to simply change your perspective on your life. Because how you feel about your life is really up to you. It's a decision that you and only you can make. Do you want to feel good and therefore unlock the full resources of your brain so that it will bring you everything you want? Or do you want to feel bad, stressed, worried and afraid so that you block your brain's full resources and simply create more problems for yourself? It really is a choice, and it comes from deciding how you're going to look at everything happening in your life right now. What judgment are you going to put on it? Is it good or bad? You decide. The quality of your life, your success or failure, is not the result of what happens to you, it's the result of what you think it means. So to help you with this, here are 3 powerful questions to ask yourself. They will immediately shift your perceptions about your life and start you living in a much more resourceful, happy and therefore successful way. You can also download these questions from my website under episode 9 in the podcast section. Question number 1. What are 10 things that make my life easier that didn't exist 50 years ago? Now really think of what you have today that you take for granted, that would have appeared a fantasy to people living even just half a century ago. How about your phone and everything it can do for you? But also, what about the easy access you have to running water, to healthcare, and literally any food from around the world? And all of these things you can get quickly and inexpensively. Think about this and come up with your own list of at least 10 things that make your life easier that didn't exist 50 years ago. You know, your life today is quite incredible. What an unbelievably lucky person you are to be living right now. Really think about this until you see the truth. Question number 2. What could I be grateful for in my life right now? What could I be grateful for in my life right now? Now the truth is, no matter who you are, you have a lot to be grateful for right now. And feeling grateful automatically puts you in your natural creative state. And this actually is the true purpose of prayer. So start to see abundance rather than lack in your life. It's there, and it's not hard to find. So you have your body, you have your health, you have your mind, you have people who love you, you have comforts, you have things you can enjoy, you have freedoms. These things and so much more, and they're things that many other people don't have. So you have an enormous amount to be grateful for. Make a list of as many things as you can, but at least 10. Question number 3. What great things are my problems teaching me? And one thing I've noticed about all truly happy and successful people is that they see their problems as learning lessons, as opportunities to learn and grow. And they look back on the bad things that have happened to them and realize that they were the best things, that their happiness and success in their life were directly related to the lessons they had learned. And those lessons, of course, came from what appeared at the time to be bad experiences. So what are your problems teaching you? What are you learning about yourself, about other people, and about life itself that you could never learn if you didn't experience these things? Choose a particular problem, something that's causing you a lot of stress and worry, and list at least 5 things about it that they're teaching you. You'll start to see that something you thought of as a problem is actually one of your greatest gifts. I really recommend you take some time with these questions. Write down your answers. Have a look at them whenever you're feeling stressed or weighed down by frustration over things that aren't making you feel good. And once you do this, once you start using your brain in a different way, and you focus on the only thing that is important, the only goal you should have, which is feeling good right now, you're going to experience true success. Because you're going to be using the full resources of your brain, and it's going to bring you everything you want and need to live life at the highest and best version of yourself. And that is your purpose for being here. That's all for this episode of Using Your Brain for Success. I look forward to sharing with you in future episodes a lot more about how you can really create an extraordinary life using the incredible power of your brain. But if you'd like to experience true success in your life and start living your highest purpose, enroll in my Neurostate Rebalancing program. There you're going to learn how to identify and create true success in your own life, which is unique to you. You'll find all the details on my website, liamnaden.com. Thanks for listening, and all the best.